Welcome back. This will be a busy module for you because you'll be reading about 30 pages in Born to Build, and we're going to start to dive into this assessment. So as a reminder, in the book, if you turn to the back and you look for the little red envelope, you cut that open and it'll direct you to a certain website, and it'll have a code to actually take this assessment. Just make sure you're taking the Born to Build, the Builder Profile 10, BP 10 assessment, and not StrengthsFinder, because they're both on their website, but it should be really clear with the instructions. If for some reason you got a hold of a used copy and this is cut out, let me know, and I have some extra codes in a pinch that I can share with you. So that is just a reminder of how that'll work. In this reading, you are looking at the first key, which is creating self-awareness. Makes sense, we're doing the assessment. One thing I want to stress again is that you do these readings for yourself, because I'm just giving a quick overview of the readings in these videos. And you'll need that for the quizzes and just to absorb the material and take advantage of it, because it's really good stuff. But in the first key, I really like this quote from Gallup on how they define talents. On page 24, it's going to be exactly as you'll see in the book, but I want to read it because I think it's really powerful and it helps you understand the perspective of this book and the approach we're taking. Gallup says it's a person's natural capacity for excellence in a role. Talents are recurring patterns of thought, feeling, behavior that are enduring and stable over time and across situations. Talent is broader than personality traits. It is a composite of basic personality and cognitive abilities. My shorthand for that would be it's what gets you excited about life. It's what makes you want to get up every day, and when you can behave in those ways, you can do really good things and people can really benefit from that. When you look at on page 26, you can look at all 10 talents, kind of a quick overview, and then there's some really good reference material in the readings for this module. But when you're looking at your report, it will identify your top 4 as dominant. Like I said, I tend to think more top 3. There's a lot of references on the website where you'll take the assessment and access your results, so make sure you look through that, watch the videos, really good stuff. It also will give you your alpha builder type, and so I'm going to briefly go over those. There's 3 types. Rainmaker. This person has unusual drive, grit, determination that you don't see in all people. They can really push through hard times, and they believe in their ideas, they believe in their venture, and they're going to see it through. This is obviously a pretty critical person to have. You could think of leadership, pretty critical person to have in a new venture or a new project or something like that. The second one is a conductor. So think of a train conductor. In the old days, this person really is the manager. They're the operations person. They're the person that builds the teams, the systems. They get their team all functioning and doing the right jobs and the right roles, and that's kind of the idea behind a conductor. An expert is the space expert. That could be software. That could be in a certain industry. Maybe you're going out west and you're going to do something with trees. Well, you need someone that is expert in that field. That's critical to have deep expertise, and that doesn't just happen overnight, so you need expertise. And good ventures will have someone who's a space expert, or maybe multiple space experts. And then at page 30 to 31, I think there's some really neat data. I'm not really going to cover it, but there's some really good data on each of the talents and what Gallup has found leads to success. So I would make sure you check that out. I think it's also good quiz material if we're kind of being honest. There's also some great tools in these readings, like the self-schema. So they're going to have you list your talents, maybe your top 3 or 4, and they're going to say, okay, from that talent, what resonates with you? And then the last piece is, how has that manifested itself in you over the years? And it's a great tool to just kind of self-reflect and think of, I have things I bring to the table that are valuable. And what I like about this is it changes the mindset to a strengths mindset, and it says, it teaches you to operate from a position and think from a position of strength. Everyone brings value to the table. Everyone has things that they can offer to a venture, to society, and that's really important. So I want you to forget that all of you have talent that you bring to the table. You all provide value. You're all a valuable piece of a venture, of a company, of an organization, of a nonprofit, whatever it is. The last piece that I'd like to talk about briefly is the 2 talents that I had you read about for these readings. The first one is risk. People who are high in risk talent, and this is an interesting one because you can usually spot risk takers, but the misconception is that they take silly risks, that they don't think things through, and that's not really true. They're comfortable with ambiguity, they're comfortable with kind of stepping off the cliff, but they tend to research those opportunities enough to feel comfortable with taking the risk, with taking the step. They're definitely opportunity seekers. They see needs in the marketplace and they react to those. The other one is independence. People have independence talent. They're not afraid to go alone in ventures. Now, this could be a weakness sometimes too. Same with risk. I mean, if you're too much of a risk taker, there could be disadvantage. But independence, people with independence talent can go alone in ventures. They're better off with a team, but they can go alone. They can set the plans and they can take action on those. They can push through the startup phase to survival. And so you can see where both of these talents are key pieces of entrepreneurial ventures, and then building those out. And so you're starting to get a taste of how this works now. I mean, we're diving right into the report, your assessment, the report, the talents, and you're starting to think about this. Of course, you're also doing your discussion board post on your report, and then you're responding to your classmates. And so hopefully this is like an explosion of insight for you and some excitement about, hey, I bring some things to the table. I may never start a business, or I may, but if I don't start a business, I can contribute specific entrepreneurial talents to a venture, a project, a cause, whatever it is. And I think that could be really exciting. So I'm anxious to see your excitement come through in those posts, and we'll see you next module.